those agents that have your own compliance, document compliance piece, this may not be as interesting to you, but it could still be useful, I think, in the event, at least making sure that you've got everything in there that you want. So I'm logged in as Mark Stepp, or as myself. And let me go to an address here. Let me go to this 4th Street. Let me go to a transaction. Okay, I don't have a transaction on it. Let's say, for instance, I'm doing this as a transaction, and I create this transaction. I go to my party members, and I want to add me as a party member. Mark at Workflow Secrets. I think that's me. And let's say, for instance, I'm the buyer's agent on this. So I am either a listing agent or a buyer's agent to this transaction. That's one thing that's important, is that you are a party member to that transaction of some sort. You can have, if you wanted to, let me just do a for instance here, in case I got the wrong contact on there. Let me do Cody in here as the listing agent as well, just for grins. Okay, so we're kind of double ending. Well, we got 2 people in our account that's doing this, but it doesn't really matter too much here in this case. Whenever I'm uploading documents, I can upload a document. Say I come up here and I upload a document. Maybe I've got my real estate contract.
I'm on a live thing.
And so I can go in here and I can upload documents into SAM for whatever transaction I'm doing. And I even have the ability to tag those if I want to come up here and I can assign tags to those documents. But, I may not tag it right. I may not get it in properly tagged so that it can be used for compliance. So what we've done is we've created in the checklist area, whenever you're in a transaction, this is only for the transactions piece right now. Whenever you're in the transactions, there's a new button here called compliance. You have to set this up first in the settings area. And I've only got a few sample items in here just for testing. But whenever I go into compliance, it will start asking me some questions. Okay, I'm doing a single family home. What transaction side? Well, I'm doing listing and buying maybe. What type of transaction is this? Is this new construction? If it's new construction, and do I need a loan? Yes, I do. Then those questions can have checklist items now assigned to them. Maybe instead of new construction, I'm doing this as a resale. Well, if I'm doing a resale, I need to know, was the home built before 1978 for my lead disclosures? And if I answer yes to that, then I know I need my lead documents. So you go through and you go through this compliance check questionnaire. And then whenever you answer all your questions, then it says, okay, based off of all your answers, these are the things that we need from you. We need to verify the lender. Who's the lender on this? Well, lender on this is, let's go Larry Lender. Larry Lender is my lender. I'm real creative here. When was my contract date? Let's say it's just today at right now. I don't care on time. Do I have my executed contract? Well, for compliance sake, previous to this update, you could have just kind of ignored it and tried to check it. But because it's part of compliance, it's not going to let you. You got to have the files tagged in a certain way. So I'm going to come over here and say, tag the files, and I've got my contract. So I'm going to select that contract, and then I can close. Well, now it says, oh, you've got it in there. So, we can address that. Once it is in there, then we at least know that it's been submitted and it's in your database. You've got it available. Do I have my lead-based paint document? I don't have that in SAM, but I could come over here and add it to SAM. And let's say we get the lead-based paint disclosure. Whenever I select it from my files, it goes ahead and puts it in here as an item. And then now I've got my lead-based paint item. I said one of the questions, which you can always go back and re-answer things, and it'll adjust which items are in there. But here's one, will the buyer need a loan? And I was just putting this in here as an example. But if you answer yes, then we need to know when was financing going to be approval, the financing approval date. Say we have it there. And then also the loan contract. Maybe we need the loan contract or whatever. So do I have it? No, I don't. So let's go add that. And you can add multiple files at the same time, but let's say I've got the loan contract as well. So by doing this now, I have now submitted, or at least gotten all my documents in here. I now have the ability to say, well, let's take a look at these documents. So like the executed contract, if I come and take a look at it, I can see that it's been submitted, and this is just a sample that I made for testing purposes. But I could see what's in that document. I can zoom in, I can zoom out, and whatever. But I'm the agent. I need either the broker or an administrator to actually approve it. Has it been approved? Not yet. It's just been submitted. So you, as the agent, go through and you fill in all of your documents or whatever. And whenever you do that, then some notifications and stuff will be set up so that it notifies your broker or whomever. So what I can do now is I can come over to my dashboard, and I can see in my compliance pieces here, I can see that because I'm the buyer's agent, I've got 3 items that have been submitted, and 3 items are required, 3 items have been submitted, but none of them have been approved or reviewed or anything like that. So I can see kind of where I'm at. I still have some things that's got to be done. On this one, my admin went in there and said, oh, you've got a document, but it's been rejected. Why has it been rejected? Well, I can come over here and take a look at it, and I can see, oh, there's it needs signatures. So, at that point, it needs those signatures. This one's been submitted, but it's not been approved yet. But I can take a look at it and see the status on it. I can go page, next, previous, or whatever, so I can see all my documents. Now, let's say, for instance, I'm no longer the agent, but I'm one of the admin people. So I'm going to log in as Mackenzie. So whenever I log in as Mackenzie, Mackenzie can now see all of the, because she's admin, she can see all of the approval queue of people that she needs to go in and do approvals for. Well, we just got this one that has submissions for 4th Street for Mark. So I can click on this and I can see all the different ones. I can choose to say, only show me the ones that need attention. So if they've been approved, I don't need to worry about those. I can take those off, but this just kind of helps filter them out once they are approved. But I can come here and start looking at them. Okay, here's this one. I can take a look at it. Oh man, it doesn't have signatures. So I'm gonna come over here and say I'm gonna reject that. No signatures. I can say save and next, and then it saves that information and goes to the next one. I can take a look at this one and say, well, it's under review. Review it. Oh, I got to step away, whatever. So she steps away. It's still under review. She hasn't finished it yet. And then this one here is still there. So I get this possible mixture of people of things. Comes back, oh, I'm still doing this one. So let me go back to reviewing this one. And let's say, yeah, that one's good for whatever reason. And then I can say save and next. And I'm going to leave this one as, well, actually, I'll go ahead and change this as under review and just save it and come back to it. So I've got different statuses for different things. This is where, because this one's approved, if I say only the ones that need attention, I can see that the approval ones get off the list. I don't have to worry about those, but I can then go in and deal with the ones that are important. Once I do that, then I can refresh my list. And then the goal of the admin person is just to go through, or the broker or whoever would be to go through and make sure everything is approved. Now, let me go back as Mark. And then I can see my compliance pieces here. And I can see that I've got one still under review, one's been approved, but I got one rejection. So I'm seeing all of everything that's going along. At this point, I could come back over here. It's like, oh man, I don't have the signatures on it. I need to deal with that. So I'll go to the transaction. I'll upload a new document. I'll resubmit it. And then it would go back as a submission piece for that admin person. And then they would then hopefully approve it at that point. The whole goal of this is to get to a point where everything is approved. And then once it is approved, then I can do my CDA or my invoice to send that to in to make sure that I get paid. So
nice.
So does that excite anybody besides Jose? Which does that help you even if you already have your own document working pieces?
I mentioned the other day that we have our own document management system, and I can't really foresee doing that inside of SAM, at least today, maybe sometime in the future, because that system is just designed to do nothing but that, and
right.
it's really good at it.
One of the things that as part of the specification that I'm working on is here it is. It's like a 17-page document right here. But being able to set up the signatures and stuff and be able to handle that as well. But also be able to take these same documents and then submit them to different document providers like what you already have. So if you uploaded them to SAM, then it could create a .loop, it could create a DocuSign, it could create a SkySlope record or whatever, and be able to take it from that point forward. Do some interactions, hopefully, so that as they approve it, it auto approves it in here as well. That may not be needed for you, but the one thing that I think it would help is, even if you are using those, that at least it helps you know which documents you have, which ones you need signatures on, and just making sure you have your own backup copies of things as well, but you may not.
Hey, Mark, let's see you click on rejection.
Actually,
you forgot to upload the signature page, because sometimes the agent will go there and just upload document, but this will be the offer. When you click on it and view it, is it possible to, instead of going to a transaction, you can upload it, the right one, through here or no?
Yes. Let me make that available. Compliance.
Because they exit out and then they have to go back and then check it out. But it's better to just upload it right up here?
That's a great Great question. I'll make that happen.
Okay.
So I can, as long as it's like a rejected, or as long as it's not approved, you could then go in and re-upload it.
Yeah.
Would that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's, I mean, even if it's submitted, I could resubmit it. Like this may have been submitted the wrong document and it's just a bunch of garbly goop. This is actually a JSON document. That's the way it looks. It's not messed up. I was just using it for sample. But what this does then is this gives me the ability to see what documents, but if it is rejected or if it's not approved, I could just have a upload new doc, in which case it'll go from there.
Perfect.
And then it would then change from rejected to submitted, and then the person then would be able to reapprove it or whatever. In order to know all the questions and stuff, and I don't really have time to go through that, it may change a little bit anyway, so I didn't want to do too much, but we've, in the settings area, we now have this compliance piece. If you are an admin or the account owner, you can see it. I've got it turned off for me because I wanted to be treated as a regular user. If I go in as Cody, since it's his account, and go to setup, then go to compliance questions, now I can see what are the different questions, and you can add your own questions. My goal is to, for the states that everybody's in that they want to use this in, we will have pre-designed upload questions so you can just load them based off of your state regulations and stuff. Right now I'm working with Jose and his team to actually build these out, but so you've got some configuration items, some things that you need to know. Who my admin is. I made Mackenzie an admin and Cody's the account owner. I'm just a regular agent, a nobody. So so that's there. And then as you add new questions, let's say, for instance, was the home built before 1978? This applies to family, single family residential. It doesn't matter what side it's on. I can do some extra classifications or limitations, but I say, what's my question? Why is, what's the description of that question? What type of question is it? Is it a yes, no? Is it a single select, a multi-select, or whatever? And then based off of the answer, I can choose what checklist items that I want to show. So I can go in there and set up a lot of different checklist items that are pre-designed. And then once that choice has been selected, it will then go in and do its thing. And then you can also, one thing I didn't do is, one thing that you can do here is you can also set up conditions. So like this, was the house built before 1978? Well, that's only going to be appropriate on
existing homes.
On existing homes. If it's a new construction, then I don't need that.
Like, would the system allow then for searching back by properties and then look at the history of all the documents?
It doesn't do it right now, but it is in the plan. I was trying to think if I did that part yet or not. Each document, whenever you upload the document, it logs it. And then also it logs the date, the time, and who uploaded it. So it also logs who approved it or who submitted it, and who rejected it and what was the rejection date. So I see all the history, so I can do reporting off of that as well. So, you know, you might come up and take a look and see, well, this particular agent tends to upload documents wrong the first time, and it normally takes them 2 to 3 times before they get it right. Where this other agent, they get it right almost every time. Some historical pieces and reporting pieces that could be useful.
You'd need to be able to also add documents after the closing too.
Yes, I mean, you can still do that. So in fact, you know, whenever I go in, let me just go to, you can add documents at any time. It's just these compliance ones are there so that whenever you run a compliance item, it basically fills the list up. So your whole goal here is to get where everything is approved, like this one is, in which case then I could do my CDA or whatever. But if I go to one here and go to the transactions, go to my checklist, I can rerun this and say, oh, you know, this wasn't built before 1978. I can take that off. Whenever I do that, then it will redo my list and remove that lead-based paint question document. So at any point you can make changes and stuff to the required list. It still keeps all the files in your list here if there are any. This one didn't have any. I didn't upload any on this one. If I go to this one here, should files. So each file that gets uploaded, you can see it. You can also see that whether it's been approved or not as well. Once it's been uploaded, you can see the approval status on it.
Michael, you're an independent broker?
Yes.
And you use?
We use for management of contracts, we use.
Oh, okay, so that's a different vendor. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they all kind of do the same thing.
Yeah, I use another software.
Do you use this whole suite of their products?
No, I've been using piece by piece. Now it seems like everything that they own, they're trying to own everything.
Yeah, I know.
So, and I was talking to Mark. Well, I just want to stay away from the third parties. And I'm already working on a transaction. You know, why don't we do it here? So that's what I've been working on it. You know, it's nice.
I think for all of us that have brokers that have their own compliance, like my broker uses for their compliance, I still like having this because right now I keep a copy of all my documents in Dropbox. So if I'm in a file here and I need to send them a copy of their signed document, I got to go get it out of Dropbox to send it. By putting it in here, I can just send it to them.
Right. And because it's tagged, you could have a template. This is the beauty of the tags, guys. If you tag a document and you go into your templates and you create a new template, let's just say we create a template that is a send contract to home buyer, you know, whatever. So I'm gonna let AI create a quick message for me. I say quick. There we go. So hello, blah 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 blah. You can see the signed contract here or whatever. What we can do is whenever you go to down here, it's just like, where's it at? On the templates down here, you can click on that you want to attach a template file. Well, I can come over here to my transaction files and I can say using a tag, So I can say, include my closing documents. So what happens then is whenever I send this template, it sees that it wants the closing document to be attached to it. It will look automatically in your files for a file that's tagged closing documents, and then it will attach those automatically. If you got 1 or if you got 10 or whatever, you can choose.
I like that because we can make that part of the routine for our TCs.
Exactly.
I can already set up the template, and you can also create in the routine to send that email to have that field check to make sure the file is there before she sends it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all coming together.
Yep.
Because we've got the file, we've got it tagged, we've got routine checking for checklist items. We can verify it and have it all ready before it goes out, and we don't have to go searching for it.
Correct.
It just does it automatically. That's what, hopefully that will reduce the amount of time it takes for you guys to go do things like that. It just does it automatically.
I think it also reduces the mistakes that TCs sometimes make, like forgetting to send the email or forgetting the attachment or to upload it. It all has a systems check to prevent those.
Exactly. What if I miss a certain document or something like that, and you can also choose that you want multiple. So maybe I've got, instead of doing closing documents where all of my closing documents that I want to tag, I can just tag it with one particular one. Maybe I want to make sure I include my addendum. I want to include my my HUD-1 statement at the the first of the year, where you want to send everybody their HUD-1. You can just tag that, and on January 2nd, send everybody their HUD-1s that closed that past year. You can do lots of different things with a template. And then if that file exists in that area, it would just automatically send it.
Yeah, because when I think about it a little bit, you could say, okay, we have our document retention system, but in our CRM, we want to keep certain documents with a transaction. We might want to keep the purchase and sale, the HUD-1, some other thing that's always there.
Right.
And that could be a handy thing.
And what I used to teach my agents back when I was at RE/MAX and compliance, I learned that some of them were relying on our compliance to hold all their documents. And I was like, no, you got to have a backup, because what if that system goes down, or when you leave RE/MAX, you don't have access to your files anymore. So having them in the CRM allows us to keep a copy in case the other system is down or you leave, you still have everything to take with you. Mark, would the file be too big to send? Because one of the things I do at closing is my TC sends a copy of everything my buyer or my seller signed during the transaction. Right now we use WeTransfer for that.
Yeah. So what I would probably do in that case, if you're sending everything, I would probably do it as a link to a folder and let them access that folder. But you have the ability on any of those files. Let me go back here on files. So if you look over here, you can make these files public, or you can make them private. If they're private, there's a link to it that other people can't access. Only you can from within SAM. So it's locked down. If you use a public file, then you could use that link then to that file where they can access all the different ones that are public for that transaction.
Is it possible to create like a zip file and send it over to them?
Yeah, you could do a zip file, absolutely.
I mean,
but
let's see,
you still have the same situation where the zip file could be really, really big, and on the other end, some email providers limit the size of the attachments. So if it's over 20 meg or 20 gig, they won't accept it. So you've got to be really careful.
I like the idea of the link and having the private, because not everything in our folder goes to the client.
Right.
Yeah.
Link folder.
So to
So
be
we
able
we can name that folder and then use that folder as a merge field, just like I do
Correct.
tags.
right, and be able to, be able to have that as a folder, as a hyperlink into the email, like we do other things in the templates.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you're using Microsoft 365 Office, I mean, you're limited to 25 megs,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I mean, a big file can build.
If you have, if you have an appraisal or you have, something like that that's got photos, and inspection that's got photos and stuff, those things can get huge.
Yeah, the link is the best way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most people understand links. Most people, they know us, so they're going to click on the link. And you can also, if we can text the link too, in case it goes to their junk folder or spam folder, they know to go look.
I do have external documents, which could be also just a URL. We've got a whole training on this one somewhere. I can probably find it, but you can set up a URL that it's basically a tag that is an external document merge field. So I can say, give me the URL to the tax documents, in which case there's the URL that they would get, and this is the merge field. Something to look at. There's a thing called a merge field for external documents. If I go new transaction and say external, so I can say external doc for floor plans or whatever. So I can give that URL an actual URL, which should be a shared drive with all the files in it. I just need to make sure that we can put those into that the files that we've got in our files tab into that shared area and be able to do the same thing. So any thoughts on that? Especially Laura, since she said you trained on that, I would be really interested in hearing your opinion on that. I may need to spend some time with you, just go through that process and see if there's other things that I need.
No, I definitely like it, even though we have is required. I would like not having to go in there to look at what my TC has done when I can do that right here inside of SAM.